Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're zeroing in on an absolute game changer for project managers, engineers, basically anyone deep in the weeds of construction planning. We are going to master the work breakdown structure, or WBS, right inside Microsoft Project. You know, if you've ever stared at a screen, totally overwhelmed, wondering how to translate a massive, complex physical build into a neat digital timeline, well, you're in exactly the right place. We're going to break down the precise methods from our source material to help you set up a flawless WBS entirely from scratch. Let's be real for a second here. Have you ever felt completely lost trying to organize a huge project in MS Project? Honestly, we've all been there. You've got this absolute mountain of construction data, assignment sheets, start dates, dependencies, and trying to input all of that without a solid structure, it's just a recipe for chaos. That pain of organizing complex data is very real, and it can literally throw off your entire project timeline before you've even broken ground. But hey, don't worry. Today, I'm going to walk you through a clear, top-down solution that'll turn all that chaos into a beautifully organized, perfectly calculated schedule. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our agenda for today. 1. Formatting the project timeline. 2. Verifying auto-schedule mode. 3. Creating first-level WBS. 4. Inserting and indenting subtasks. And 5. Assigning correct task durations. Starting right off with Section 1, formatting the project timeline. So before you even think about entering a single piece of data, your workspace needs to be set up perfectly so your schedule is, actually easy to read. When you go in to format your timescale, definitely check the preview window. You want to make absolutely sure your timescale shows months on the top tier and weeks on the bottom tier. Why? Well, because this gives you the perfect macro and micro view of your project all at once. It really is the optimal presentation style for an activity schedule. Later on, whether you're presenting a cost schedule or a resource schedule, having those months up top and weeks below just makes the information instantly digestible for everyone. Moving right along to Section 2, verifying auto-schedule mode. Now, what's really interesting about this is that it's a critical software check that absolutely must happen before you enter any data. Seriously, skipping this step is the #1 reason project managers end up pulling their hair out later on. Auto-schedule ensures MS Project calculates all your dates automatically based on durations and dependencies. But, and this is a big but, if you look under the task mode and see a little green safety pin icon, that means you're stuck in manual schedule mode. This is essentially the golden rule of MS Project setup. Avoid that manual schedule green pin at all costs. You want the software doing the heavy mathematical lifting for you. Just make sure every single row is set to auto-schedule before you do anything else. All right, on to Section 3, creating first-level WBS. This is where we bring in the concept of summary tasks. The whole goal here is to enter your macro construction phases first. We're establishing the big picture before we start sweating the tiny details. So what do these macro phases actually look like? Well, pulling directly from our sources assignment exercise, your top-level WBS packages would be site clearing, excavation, construction embankment, subgrade, subbase, WMM, DLC, bituminous course, culvert and appurtenances, and finally drainage. And listen, as you enter that very first item, site clearing, our source insists on a really crucial check. Glance at the start time. By default, it should show up as 8 to 17, which just means a standard 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. workday. If that default time is correct on your very first entry, you're golden to keep going. Oh, and here's a brilliant, highly practical pro tip right from the source material. Please do not waste your precious time manually typing out every single one of those phases. You can literally just copy the entire list of first-level items from your digital assignment sheet or PDF and paste the whole shebang directly into MS Project all at once. Selecting them all together and hitting paste will perfectly populate the rows. It's a massive time saver. Next up, Section 4, inserting and indenting subtasks. Now that our big picture is locked in, we're shifting from the macro down to the micro. Let's use site clearance as our main example here. Site clearance obviously isn't just one single action, right? It's made up of several smaller jobs. To nest those smaller jobs underneath it, you just select the row immediately below it, which in this case would be excavation, and hit the insert key on your keyboard for however many blank rows you need. Paste in your subtasks, things like clearing rubbin, dismantling, or cutting trees. Then just highlight those new subtasks, head up to the task menu under Schedule Options, and click the Indent tool. And guys, this brilliantly illustrates the magic of MS Project. The absolute second you click that indent tool, something highly satisfying happens. A tiny expand and collapse arrow automatically pops up next to the top-level site clearance task. That little arrow, that's your visual confirmation. It means site clearance is no longer just a standard row. It's now an official summary task. It's a true level 1 WBS package holding all those nested subtasks safely inside it. Let's move to and see how this builds in our final step, Section 5, assigning correct task durations. Okay, listen up, because if you take literally nothing else away from this explainer today, please remember this golden rule. Never, ever manually type a duration into a summary task. No way! You must only assign durations to the lowest level subtasks. See, the summary task is specifically designed to automatically calculate its total duration based on the subtasks beneath it. If you try to manually touch that summary task duration, you completely break the automation. So, how do we actually do it properly? Well, looking at our data for site clearance, our source allocates 5 days to clearing rubbing, 2 to dismantling, and 2 to cutting trees. For excavation, the subtasks are 10, 10, 15, and 15 days. In the duration column next to these specific lowest level subtasks, you simply type the number. That's it. You don't even need to type the word days. MS Project is smart enough that if you just type a 5, it'll automatically format it as 5 days. By doing this at the lowest level, the summary tasks above them will seamlessly mathematically calculate your overarching timeline. Actually, let me add a quick side note here to clarify a really important nuance the source points out. Not every single first-level item requires subtasks. Sometimes a level 1 WBS package is simply a straight activity all on its own. For instance, the source notes that construction embankment and subgrade are just standalone activities. They don't have smaller nested tasks below them. In these specific cases, because there aren't any subtasks to roll up into them, it is perfectly fine to assign their durations, like 25 days, for example, directly to that level 1 row. So, the overarching takeaway here is that by systematically formatting your timeline, verifying auto-schedule is on, mapping out your macro tasks, indenting those microtasks, and correctly applying durations at the right level, you remove all that frustrating friction from software planning. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. With your work breakdown structure now perfectly organized and visually sound, the only question left for you is, are you ready to conquer your next massive construction schedule?
If you want to master Microsoft Project with practical construction examples, join the online professional certificate course of Onyx. Learn from industry experts and build job-ready planning skills. Limited seats available. Join now.